Greetings! I'm Teek, and this is the show where I go over things that were of interest to me in the last week. Fortunately, I have a great many interests, so there's probably something for you here too. As long as it hasn't been cancelled, that is. James Bond may have no time to die, but it looks like he's getting a few extra months anyway. This week, MGM and Universal announced that the upcoming 007 movie is being postponed to November due to concerns over the outbreak of COVID-19, a strain of the coronavirus. MGM isn't the only entity worried either. The formerly upcoming South by Southwest is the latest convention casualty of the coronavirus. Late this week, the city of Austin canceled the entertainment festival, adding to a growing list of cancellations and postponements. Emerald City Comic Con, also scheduled for next weekend, has been postponed to later this summer. Likewise, the Game Developers Conference has postponed their event following the withdrawal of more than half a dozen high-profile developers. In Europe, April's Eve Fan Fest has been cancelled outright, along with May's TwitchCon in Amsterdam. Both Google and Facebook also had major events scheduled for May that are also now cancelled. So far, it looks like E3 and Gamescom are still on schedule, but statements made by the organizers say that they are also watching the situation closely. So, is this all an overreaction? Well, it's hard to say. Here's the thing, if you're part of the population that doesn't have to worry about the flu being a potentially life-threatening illness, you'll probably be okay. If you do catch the coronavirus and you're young and healthy, you'll be fine. In fact, you'll feel fine for days, if not weeks, before you start to develop symptoms. And in that time, you'll spread the virus to other people, most of whom will also be just fine. Unless they're part of the population that does worry about the flu being a potentially life-threatening illness, which is more people than you might think. Combine this with a country full of people that can't afford to take sick days, much less go to a doctor, and an administration that has spent the last 3 years undermining the CDC's ability to deal with this exact situation, and, well, it's a safe bet that this thing is gonna get worse before it gets better. So, you don't need to live in a bunker, but maybe wash your hands more often. Of course, not everything is shut down. If you're willing to risk exposure this week, coming to theaters is My Spy. Dave Bautista learns the value of friendship while dealing with 9-year-olds and probably ends up hooking up with his new buddy's mom, which will undoubtedly end in tragedy since he's still an active CIA operative. Next up, there's Bloodshot. Vin Diesel plays a slightly paler Vin Diesel with a healing factor. Sorry, Vin, but Bad in the Sun did it better. And finally in theaters, The Hunt. Newly uncancelled, can this movie about people hunting people possibly live up to the hype? Maybe, maybe not, who knows. Over on television, Rob Riggle has a new show on the Discovery Channel. I'd like to think there's some educational value to this, but it may just be an excuse for him to do some globetrotting. And on Netflix, Blood Ride is a Scandinavian horror anthology series. Not much else to say here, 6 episodes of spooky stories with subtitles. Speaking of subtitles in the realm of anime, what the heck is this? Tenchi Muyo OAV 5? Where did this come from? When was the 4th one? Man, I haven't followed this franchise in years. In video games, releasing on Steam this week is Horizon's Gate, a retro-looking JRPG with an emphasis on sailing. Actually looks kinda neat. Langlacier 1 and 2 is headed for Steam and consoles this week, which is weird because I'm pretty sure this came out a couple weeks ago. Either way, this updated version of the classic series is coming soon if you need your tactical RPG fix. At long last, Ori and the Will of the Wisps comes out on PC and Xbox One this week. This is doubtlessly one of the week's prettiest game releases, especially if you're looking for some colorful platforming. Likewise, Neon City Riders is a pretty cool looking top-down action RPG. I can't really tell how it plays, but it sure looks good. My Heroes 1 Justice 2 is a fighting game for My Hero Academia fans. Not really much to say about it, just some good-looking anime fighting. Previously exclusive to the Xbox One, Stela is another one of those pretty walking puzzle platformer games. Not exactly uncommon, but always interesting. State of Decay 2 Juggernaut Edition is another game getting a facelift this week. This zombie survival game update will be released on PC and included in the Xbox Game Pass. And hey, the wait is over. If you're not a fan of the Epic Game Store, Borderlands 3 is finally available on Steam. Of course, if you don't mind the Epic Game Store, this week's free games include Off-World Trading Company, a Mars-based RTS, and Goner, a really neat-looking platformer shooter with a very cool art style. Heading over to consoles, Neo 2 comes out this week on the PS4 if you're looking for some sweet samurai action. And over on the Switch, Brotherhood United is a retro-style shooter that kinda looks like if Metal Slug was ported to the Game Boy Color. Elder's Blood describes itself as XCOM meets Darkest Dungeon meets Dark Souls, so that's a pretty interesting combo to have in a game. Rack and Ruin is a top-down action RPG that appears to put you in the role of a tiny demon laying waste to a world of heroic defenders. And speaking of bullet hells, Rainbows, Toilets, and Unicorns is a shmup that is screaming for your attention with just its name, and here I am, giving it. That leaves us with this week's awesome video. Let's just stick with the coronavirus theme and watch John Oliver tackle the issue.
I will say this. You are unlikely to get the coronavirus if you regularly gargle bleach, because you know what they say, being dead is already the best medicine.
That's everything for this week, so what would you do if you were quarantined in your house for a month? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and maybe give me a like if you think I deserved it. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a great and healthy week.